there, my name is Heidi McKee. I'm a Senior Executive Director with 31 Gifts. I've been part of this organization for 8 years and about 3 months, and I have to tell you, it's been a ride of a lifetime. So one of my favorite things in this organization is actually recruiting, adding team members. Over my 8 years, I've added about 250 girls personally to my team. Are they still with me? No, not all of them. A majority are, but I know how to get people to my team. So I was asked to do a video to share some of my tips and my techniques and why I add team members. You may be thinking, oh Heidi, I'd much rather sell and make 25%, which I totally get that. In fact, about 2 years into my career, my husband said, why in the world would you want to recruit when you can make 25% on the sell instead of only, at that point, 3% override? Well, I'm going to get to that in just a little bit, but I want to tell you a story. I went to school to be a basketball coach. When I was in 7th grade, Coach Weber was my coach, and she hung the moon in my eyes. Although I barely made the B team, and I sat on the bench most of the time, the way that she inspired me, the way that she cheered me on, the way that she wanted me to get better, put a desire in my heart to do the same for others. So I decided to be a basketball coach. 7th grade, I went that route. I went to college to be a coach. I got a master's degree in kinesiology, and I started coaching. In fact, one of my best jobs ever was the women's basketball coach at Dallas Christian College. Yep, I was fresh out of school, and they needed a college coach to start their program. They had not had a women's basketball team yet, and so they called me, little 22-year-old from Oklahoma, to come down to big city of Dallas and start a basketball team. Dreams were endless. I could not wait to get on campus, fulfill my dreams of changing people's lives through the game of basketball. Well, when I showed up, there was a basketball schedule with about 25 games playing huge schools in the area and surrounding. There was a gymnasium, there was basketballs, but there was no team. I came as August 1st, and when I had my call to basketball meeting, only 2 people showed up. I was floored. Did you know that it takes at least 5 girls to play a basketball game? You can't even start unless you have 5. And you're running up and down the court a whole bunch, so you're going to really wear out. And so I needed about 10 girls. So I went through the dorms begging and pleading and asking anyone, can you run? Can you dribble? Can you walk and chew gum at the same time? Whatever it took, I got girls to be on my basketball team. Well, needless to say, we were the misfits, and that year I lost every single basketball game by an average of 100 points. You heard me right, 100 points. It was devastating, it was humiliating, but I realized my dream of being a basketball coach wasn't really panning out to what I thought it was. In fact, I knew that I had to build my dream team. I cannot rely on anybody else to fulfill that dream that I had in my head. And of course, as a basketball coach, you know what that dream is. Winning regional tournaments, going to the national tournaments, having trophies, helping people live out their dreams. And my goal was to have some All-Americans on my team. My goal was to have some girls break records. My dream was to have a team that they will remember for the rest of their lives. And so I couldn't wait on my athletic director. I couldn't wait on my other teammates. I couldn't even wait on my assistant coach. I had to be the one to go build my team. So translate that to 31. You signed up for a reason. Maybe it was financial. Maybe it was because you want friends. Maybe it's because you see the possibility of doing this as a career. And I know that that dream is there for you. And let me just inspire you that you are the only one that can make that dream happen. If you want an organization that will pay your bills, that will help you make an income of over $100,000 a year, then it is up to you. That was one of my goals way back at the beginning, is to have a 6-figure income. That was one of my goals, and I knew that there was no way I could sell enough at 25% to get a 6-figure income. So I had to be the one to build that team. So do you want to build a team? Do you want to help others achieve their goal? I had a possible recruit phone call the other day. I was talking to her, and she was not happy with the 25% commission. She thought that was not very much, and she kind of balked at it. And what I almost said, I said, 25% doesn't sound like a lot, but when you recruit and you build a team, you get to make money off of them. And I stopped myself before I said that, because the truth is, I really don't make money off of other people. That sounds really trite. In fact, what I wanted to say is that when I help you make $100 extra a month, $200, $500, $1,000, then it will benefit me financially. We're not like a Walmart or a Target organization where the CEO sets and barks orders and you work your tail to the bone and then he or she gets an income. We are a cyclical foundational organization. Say that 3 times fast. Basically, if I don't pour into my team, if I don't teach her how to grow, then I will never ever be financially rewarded, or I will never ever achieve what I wanted to achieve with my business. So before I said you'll make off of her 3%, I stopped myself and I said we are a team-based approach, which means you make overrides on your team when you help them succeed. So as my basketball coach story, there was no way I was ever going to win a championship unless I helped my basketball team live the dream they want to dream. It's the same thing with your team as well. So when you are recruiting with 31, do you just go up and down the dorms and put a flyer, I'm looking for a team? Do you post it on Facebook, hey, I need a team? Or are you specifically looking for girls that want to further their career, that want to really make a difference in their family finances, that really want to make a difference? So my technique is really, really basic, and to not blow it out of the water, which is kind of embarrassing, but this is basic stuff, ladies. It's just doing it with a little bit of poise, a little bit of desire, and a whole lot of passion. So are you ready for this earth-shattering way to recruit? Are you ready? I don't know if you are. This might change your life. Okay, so here it is. How I add team members is this. I ask. A-S-K. I simply ask. Okay, Heidi, what do you mean? How do you ask? What do you ask? Who do you ask? Where do you ask? Why do you ask? That's great questions, ladies. Let me break it down to you. First of all, I love acronyms, and that's how I remember everything. How to shoot the ball is BEEF, B-E-E-F. Any basketball players out there, you know what that stands for. When you study the Bible, I SOAP it, S-O-A-P. Some of y'all Bible scholars, you might know how to do that. But I ask when I'm building a team, A-S-K. A stands for acquire names. Okay, so if you went to my class at National Conference, you heard me say this. The best way to start is have a pile of names. I mean real names, not the lady I run into at Walmart. I mean write down names. And you can acquire those names by, obviously, parties, right? Home office leads if you're lucky enough to receive those, vendor shows, word of mouth, referrals. Then you can simply break down your frank list, your friends, your relatives, your acquaintances, your neighbors, your kids. And then as Amy Neal says, you can transpose those. Your friends' relatives, or your acquaintances' neighbors, or your kids' friends' parents. It goes on and on and on, but you have to start with a list. To build a team, when I built a basketball team, I could not just go shooting in the dark hoping that I would run across someone that knows how to dribble and knows how to shoot a three-pointer. There was no way I could do that. I had to go acquire names. There are lots and lots of ways to acquire. So why don't you stop right now and write down some names that just pop into your head that maybe you have never written down on a piece of paper. I know when Facebook first started coming out, I looked at Facebook, I scanned Facebook and people I graduated with, I haven't talked to forever. So stop right now and write down as many names as you can think of. Right quick, go. Okay, so I hope you wrote down some names. I hope you have at least 5 names so we can do this exercise. So the first letter of ask is A. You have to acquire names. And to move to the next step, to be able to put them on your team, you have to have those names there. So when anybody comes into my organization on my team or my downline, I definitely tell them to generate that list of 62 that's been around from the beginning. If they can't come up with 62, we just brainstorm together to write down a list. You have to have a list of names. We are a relationship business. It's not going to work if you just rip out the white pages and start calling people. You've got to know these people personally, okay? So good. I'm glad that you wrote down the names for letter A, acquire, okay?